All right, everybody, this is today is November 7th, 2021. This is going to be one of our last bee videos for the year. Of course, I'll come out here during the winter time and we'll check on them. But today we're going to be putting on the supers, and I'll show you why. We'll put on the supers and then we'll put on the rapid round feeders, and we will use just dry sugar in there. I've done a video on this before. The reason why we do this is because the dry sugar will pretty much keep all winter. With it being dry, it acts as a desiccant, so it helps suck up moisture inside the hive. And towards the end, when they start running out of food, they'll go up to the rapid round and start eating the sugar, because the moisture will help soften up the sugar, kind of like candy. So today we're gonna take off all the Boardman feeders. We're gonna take out the entrance reducers that's on them, and then we're gonna put in the normal entrance reducers. So the big hive at the end that we're looking at, this one's going into winter very strong, and the first year it did too, so we should be good with that. The other ones we're gonna check real fast, and we will show you guys on what we're looking for, and we're hoping that they did something within the last couple weeks. So yeah, so we'll get in there. I don't think you've seen that, but that last bee that just crawled in there is still bringing in pollen. So wherever they're getting it is way beyond me. So we're gonna get everything ready and then get into these hives. All right, this is our first hive that we're going to be starting on. So we're going to go around to the back. When we treated these, we put a 1/2-inch hole in the back so we can use our oxalic acid vaporizer. I've also done a video on a homemade one that we made. So since we got 4 hives, we got 4 1/2-inch dowel rods, and then all we do is tap them in the back to seal up that hole for the winter time. That's good. Next, what we're gonna do is remove our Boardman feeder. And we are going to remove the entrance reducer that's on it. They got this propolized pretty good, so hopefully it'll come right out. And that did, it just popped right out of place. They have quite a bit of propolization on there. So now we're just going to pop this top. And just peek and see how they're doing.
I never did draw these out. Everything else looks good.
The middle frame and the one off to the side seem to be doing all right. They do got a bunch drawn out, but these last couple, they don't. So this is another reason why we're going to be putting the shim on with the emergency food. So we'll just place this back on. We also made these spacers. We did a video last year about this. We did these spacers because these don't like to sit flat. And that's pretty much all we did. So we're just gonna set this on. And we're gonna put 1 4-pound bag of sugar in it.
And it basically acts the same as a winter patty would. It acts as a desiccant. It also gives them an emergency food source.
And then we'll set this shim up.
You can use the shim made out of 2x4s, or you can use a honey super. Whatever you've got. If you've got all your honey super still in storage, this is a good option. Any 2x4 will work.
And then now we're gonna have to put the entrance reducer in. But this is the plug I was talking about right there. Because we drilled a hole in the back so we could treat them without bothering them too much.
There's a shim in there from the Boardman feeder. It needs popped out. Where's your knife tool?
Mine's floating around somewhere.
And this is the hive base that we built, so we may need to just, I don't know if that's going to slide in, Justin. This is the bottom board we built. I need an entrance reducer.
Here's that one you made.
Yeah, let me see. Good.
Okay, now that one's taken care of. So we'll move on to the move on to the nasty green hive. And she already removed the Boardman from that.
These girls are a little spicy. When you're doing this, just make sure there's no propolis right there at the inside where you're sticking your cover in. Just give it one last little check to make sure you can get it in.
What?
Entrance hole's got to go up.
For the dead bees?
Because of dead bees, you want your entrance to be up. And then that way, because bees are going to die naturally over the winter, they're going to build up in the bottom. You want them to be able to get over those dead bees. So it needs to be the smallest opening, and it needs to be facing upward. Out of the way, lady. All right, that one's in. That one's in.
Okay, now we're gonna pop this one off.
This cover's a little bit different. This is a telescoping cover with a spacer. So we've actually got to add an inner cover. And they're good. They've got pretty much everything drawn out in there. That can come off. And then the inner cover goes on. They do have a top entrance here as well. Is there any on that side that needs taken off so this sits flat?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
All right. We've got a nice 60-degree day coming tomorrow, so that'll give them an opportunity to throw some new propolis on this too, which is nice. A couple of warmer days coming. That gives them the ability to work that. And by springtime when we go to check them, and February, March, late winter, early spring, they'll have that sealed completely closed. And then an empty honey super. And since this one's got a telescoping cover, we can just go straight to the telescoping cover versus the migratory cover instead of a telescoping.
And with the lids on these rapid rounds, the bees can't actually get into the area of the hive. They're only confined to the rapid round, and that's it.
All right, on to the next one.
While she's prying that out, I'll show you the just a 1/2-inch dowel rod, and then just tap it in this hole. And then next year we can remove them for when we go to treat again for mites. And that's it. That ain't going anywhere. You want me to go ahead and get this top off?
Yes, please.
Make sure that these all have an entrance, and they do. At the top. This one's the same as the other one. They have the half of the top drawn out and the other half they didn't. I don't know if anyone else's bees just didn't do that great this year. I mean, they're surviving, they're doing well, but they're just not doing
They didn't
great.
build up like they did last year.
So they seem to, all these are filled. So
We're gonna have to dig a little deeper in that one. There was a fair number of dead ones at the bottom.
okay.
More than I would have expected. It may have been from the oxalic acid treatments. But that's also the biggest hive too, though.
Yeah.
These are the new feeders we ordered. There's only about 1/8 of an inch. Now, yeah. Still want to use that because it closes the rest of the gap, so there's no airflow around that rapid round.
And like I said, during the winter time, we'll come down and check up on them a little bit. We still have that observation hive in the house that I'll try to do videos on it more often.
Those smoker pellets stink.
Yeah, they do. Okay, now we're on to the last one. And I'll just go ahead and put this dowel rod in. Just like we did before.
Crack it.
Look at that. It's already warm in there. They look like you're doing okay. Yes and
That's
no.
capped. That's capped.
And all these in here
these
are
are
capped.
just completely drawn out, so they'll be fine. It's not worth risking all that empty space in there for them to heat. Because it's empty, it won't hold heat. Okay. They're not happy. Somebody's buzzing me.